Hey everyone, my name is Cybill Sixpence and today I'm excited to show you this charming Canadian-inspired Minecraft house. With classic woodwork, detailed trims, and welcoming porch, this build brings that cozy northern feel right into your world. Whether you're here for inspiration or planning to follow along block by block, you're in the right place. If you enjoy detailed tutorials and thoughtful builds, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tap that bell so you'll never miss a new upload. This is a large build, so you'll need quite a bit of space. Here's your materials list, and let's get started. When selecting a place to build this particular house, do keep in mind that this build requires a 30 by 25 space. Some terraforming may be necessary. Here is your floor plan, and I am starting out by building up the foundation with polished granite. I do go back in later and I mix that in with some granite and some granite slabs. My texture pack that I'm using allows me to double up on the slabs and it gives me a different texture altogether. I am using spruce planks for my floors, and you'll notice that the innermost room is elevated by 1 block. I'm opting to include 3 porch areas. 2 will be in the back of the house, or kind of the back side part of the house, and I'm using spruce planks for those, and then I'm going to also corner those up with stripped spruce. The porches can be optional. It will change the way that you enter into the house, making this the front of the house and this the mudroom in the back of the house. My personal rule of thumb when doing walls for people to actually function in is approximately 5 blocks high. I am using polished granite for the spherical rooms that I'm going to have, and then I'm using white terracotta for the primary room of the house, and then compost, which is a very interesting spruce design, for the mudroom. In preparation for the second floor, I am going to outline with stripped spruce and then filling in the support wall in the center of the house with white terracotta. I am making my stairwell out of acacia. Here again, my texture pack does offer a little bit of a different look. So in vanilla, I think it's a little bit more orange. So if you are not using Mitsuno 16, I would probably continue with either an oak or spruce. The Mitsuno 16 pack does offer a different texture for the polished ancinite, and I'm going to be using the half slabs for those. And then I'm going to bring up those stripped spruce blocks all the way up to the edges of the ancinite. The second story floors are built with acacia planks. This texture pack has a nice grayish brown look to it, so if you're in vanilla, it probably is orange, but you can change that out for oak or spruce if you're not wanting to use acacia. And being now into the second floor, I'm still going to raise those blocks up 5 high so that it's functional to the player who's going to be living inside of this house before we move on into the roof area. So I also know that right now the polished granite is looking a little bit rhythmic. We will be going back in with some regular granite, and we're going to also be using the slabs for the polished granite, which is going to offer us a different texture pack. We're going to texture up the walls. It'll look a little bit different here in just a little while. This does seem to be a very simplistic roof at the moment, but I assure you it will be getting a little bit more difficult when we move into the front of the house. But for the moment, I am using polished andesite stairs, and with no special pattern, I'm just going to take those all the way up to the top of the house and cap it with a slab, and then bring it all the way back down on the other side before I move over to the small little towers I have on the sides. And from here, using the same andesite slabs, I'm going to create a circular pattern all the way to the top. Now, I will not keep the circular pattern. I'm actually going to merge those into the gable roof, but for the moment, I'm just setting out the area so that I know what to follow when I go in and merge those 3 roofs together. So this part right here is still optional, but it's going to be a porch below and a deck above, and I am outlining that with stripped spruce logs. I'll be continuing to fill in the gable roof with the terracotta, and then I'm punching out 1x4 windows. And so this last little bit of roofing is a little bit more complex. I'm going to start by opening up with a gable roof, and the reason why, because it's going to give me the outline of where I want the roof to be placed at. Just using that same gable patterning with the slabs, and I'm going to open that up all the way into the corner as if meeting into a gentle slope. And then the hardest part is echoing the very same thing on the other side. I do take a couple of back and forth just to make sure that I do get it right, but a more rounded slope is what I'm aiming for. Now, I have chosen to use a combination of polished andesite slabs and blocks, but if you want to texturize it with other blocks, you're welcome to do so. Once I am confident that my roof is symmetrical on both sides, I'm going to continue with that upper room, filling the outer portions with composts and then the center portion with white terracotta. And now for the fun part, all of the details of the house. So I'm making arrangements for some little window gardens. I'm using acacia fencing along the edges of my porches, and then I'm going to punch some holes all in the granite and filling that in with the texture that I told you about at the beginning of the video. Most of the windows that I'm punching out in this house is going to be 1x4s. If I have 3 in a row, the middle one is usually going to be 2 blocks additional. So after I've gone around the house and I've put windows everywhere I want the windows to be, I'm going to be using stairs to frame them with. On compost walls, I will be using spruces that does match mostly to the texture, and everywhere else I'm going to be using birch stairs. I decided to expand my windows right here underneath the gable for more detail, but it's entirely up to you. It's just completely optional. Now, while you are building this house or getting inspiration from it, just remember it is your house and it is your world, and you're entitled to change anything that you want. So I did add a window to this attic space right here using birch stairs to frame it, but inside the house I am not using any stairs or ladders to get access to it. That would be entirely up to you. I'm just going to leave it as a little crawl space at the top. Just make sure that any spaces that you're not going to have accessible from the house that you do put in torches so that we don't have a mob buildup because it could be dark. I have chosen to use the light gray window panes to put into my window. I love the white framework that it gives. I think it brings out the birch stairs that I used to frame with. It just brings everything all together. So I've used oak planks in between my spruce logs, and then I'm going to outline that with some acacia gates. And then I'm going to start bringing some greenery. I'm using moss because it has that green that goes all the way around instead of like the little green grass that grows on top. And then I'm going to start bringing in my doorway. The same thing applies with my doors as they do with my windows. So you can see right here in the mudroom I'm using jungle doors, and they are being framed with some spruce stairs on the upside down above the door. And on the front part of the house where I'm using white terracotta, I'm also using jungle doors, but I'm using birch to frame those with. I'm also using the jungle trapdoors on my flower boxes, and then I'm using birch in the plank and the stairs to frame out my gable roofing. So for my moss, I am just simply using some bone meal, and it can create whatever it is. The sporadic is going to just add to the beauty. I'm using roses around the bottom of the house, and I'm elevating some of them with some moss blocks. And then it's just up to you as to where you want to place your clay pots so that you can fill them up with flowers and just add that greenery. And now for the walkway. So I'm using gravel here, and you can use something different, but I'm going to dress it up and give you a couple of inspirations and some ideas. So there's a quick little garden tree that you can make using a clay pot. I'm using an acacia fence, and I'm going 5 high with it, and then I'm going to use acacia to branch out and then bubble each branch with the leaf of your choice. Using the same base, you can have an iron gate with a lantern on top, add some azaleas and some fences, and you're done. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this Canadian-inspired house fits perfectly into your Minecraft world. If you found the tutorial helpful, please give the video a like. It really helps grow the channel. And if you'd like to see more creative, survival-friendly builds like this one, don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell so you won't miss what's coming next. I'd love to hear what you think or what you would like to see in future tutorials. So feel free to drop a comment down below. Your feedback means a lot and helps shape the channel. Until next time, take care. Happy building, and I'll see you in the next video.